Hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Travis.
And I'm Kenny.
Well, 3 weeks of the college football season so far, and it's been really exciting these first 3 weeks. And after some preseason hype for the Heisman Trophy candidates, we talked about Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson again. I think the race is starting to really start to take shape here through the first 3 weeks of the seasons. So, this show, basically, we're going to give you guys our top 3 candidates so far for the Heisman Trophy. I know it's a bit early in the season, but, it's never too early to get the clock started. So, let's start off. Travis, who are your top 3 guys so far?
Well, for me, coming in at number 3, I'm going with the running back, Royce Freeman. This guy has been arguably the nation's top running back this year. He's ran for at least 150 yards every game. He already has 9 touchdowns, and he is one of my top 3 choices. He's been playing great so far, and he's had an excellent season. Kenny, who's your number 3 choice?
All right, so for my number 3 choice, it's going to be something that no one really expects. He's a quarterback from the state of Florida. No, he's not from University of Florida, Florida State. It's my man Quentin Flowers, University of South Florida. Now, he's going to be on my Heisman list because, first of all, he's a sleeper in many people's eyes. But watching him against Illinois last week, I saw the ability for him to run, make people miss, and he is a cannon for an arm. And now I'm going to go on the record here to make this show pop a little rating here. My prediction is Quentin Flowers, mark my words, in 5 years, he will be the next coming of Michael Vick. I guarantee it. I'm making that guarantee right here.
Man.
Whoa.
Big guarantees here from Kenny.
That's a big prediction, especially going up against a U of I defense that doesn't really make many people scared.
Yeah, I can say as a U of I fan, there's a lot of things about the football program that doesn't scare anybody. But, for my number 3 pick, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten for this one. How about Saquon Barkley from Penn State, the running back? He's had a pretty good year so far, and Penn State's been high-flying offense so far this year. I just think he's the best running back in the country so far. It's a really, really tough argument to make. I know there's so many great running backs out there when you got Nick Chubb from Georgia and some of the other guys that we've mentioned. But I just love this kid, and he does it all. He's effective in the running game. He's effective in the passing game. He does so much for this Penn State offense, and without him, they really wouldn't be where they're at right now. We're the number 4 in the country. But let's go on to our number 2 selections here. Travis, who do you got?
This was really a toss-up between these top 2 guys. They're the top 2 quarterbacks in the country right now. They're basically 1A and 1B. But for me, coming in at number 2, I have Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. He has just had a great year. He's already got 11 passing touchdowns, and he's really led that high-powered Oklahoma State offense. Basically, the only reason why I don't have him at number 1 is that Baker Mayfield, he came in and he beat Ohio State at Ohio State. That's really good on his resume. So for me, if Mason Rudolph has a really big game against TCU, it can beat some other really high-ranked opponents, he may make a push for the number 1 spot. But for right now, I got him in at number 2. It's a quarterback game, and those are my top 2 guys. Kenny, who's your number 2?
All right, guys. So for my number 2, I'm going on the same thinking as you. I'm taking Mason Rudolph. Why? Because, like you said, him and Mayfield are 1A, 1B, basically. Now, this is what my thinking is behind this choice. Rudolph is the guy who I could see putting up Matthew Stafford-like numbers in the NFL, correct? I could see him being able to throw the ball on the field. This guy's got a cannon arm. And by watching his play, he seems like he's got a good mind in the huddle. But the thing that separates him and Baker Mayfield is the simple fact that I could see Baker Mayfield as an NFL MVP, a guy who can lead an offense for years to come in the NFL. Now, this is just me thinking into the future. So as of right now, it doesn't really have any impact, but that's why I'm taking Rudolph at number 2 on my list. I'm putting Mayfield at number 1. It's just the simple fact of what will you do for me in the future.
Well, I'm going to go the opposite of you guys here. I'm going to go Baker Mayfield at number 2. Obviously, we talked about that big game against Ohio State. Really, Kenny, MVP. Oh, wow. Really bold predictions. We got 2 bold predictions. First, we got the next Michael Vick, and then we got the next MVP in 5 years. Man, he's going all out here. But, let's stick with Baker Mayfield right now. He's got 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions so far this season. That's really high efficiency so far. And he's not playing shabby competition. I mean, Ohio State, they're one of the best teams in the country. Urban Meyer really does a good job of recruiting defensive talent there. So I have him at number 2, though, because I just love this Mason Rudolph kid. To me, he's my favorite quarterback going to this next year's draft class. Not saying he's going to be the best quarterback out of all these guys, but to me, he fits the mold of a modern-day prototypical pocket passer where he's a big, strong kid who can throw the ball 1,000 yards down the field. I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. And just going over his numbers here, he's got 11 touchdowns so far this season, only 1 interception so far, and he's throwing 300 yards in every single game. In his last game against Pittsburgh, who's traditionally had a pretty good program over the past few years, he put up 497 yards, completed 72% of his passes. And like I said, he had 5 touchdowns and 1 interception in that game. That was really his first test of the season. The next test he's got is TCU, like we said. Really the only thing that's really holding him back so far in terms of maybe your guys' rankings is that he hasn't really gone up against a big-name opponent yet. I think against TCU and against Oklahoma later in the year, I think he'll have some big games going forward. But just sticking to right now, I still like Mason Rudolph as my number 1 guy.
Yeah, and for me, like I already said, my number 1 guy, I got Baker Mayfield. And I watched him against Ohio State. He looked fantastic. He went up against top-notch competition. It looked great. Just watching him, he's a leader on the football field. He's got that swag. He's got the personality. I think he's a guy who can make the step to the next level in the NFL and really run a team. He's a guy that he's got all the things you look for in a quarterback. He's got the arm. He's got the mobility. And that's really a big thing is you got to have mobility. You can't just be a guy that's stuck in the pocket. You got to be able to escape, make plays. And watching him, he can just do that. I think he's the total package. And I just barely have him above Mason Rudolph. Like I said, it's really close. But that big-time win versus a big-time conference against Ohio State, that just got him slightly over for me.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, you need a QB that can be mobile, not be standing in the pocket. As me and Andrew as Bears fans, we have to see that every Sunday.
Oh, my God, the statue himself, the red giraffe.
He's slower than a snail.
Yeah.
We're not talking about NFL here. We're talking about college football.
We're talking about Heisman.
I mean, comparisons.
Too carried away with all of our depressed Bears talk right here. We got enough videos coming up for that. But yeah, like I said, Baker Mayfield, again, it was really close for me. These are my 2 top choices. Obviously, Baker Mayfield, he might have an edge right now because, again, he played against Ohio State, beat them. I love the moment where he, stick the flag into their feet in the center of their field there. I just love that type of stuff. I mean, I don't think he deserves any criticism for that. That's just fun college football competition there. And Baker Mayfield does have the advantage of being a more mobile quarterback, which will recreate more of those high-event moment type of highlights. But I just love this Mason Rudolph kid. I think there's something special about him. The way he throws the deep ball with those wide receivers with James Washington there. There's something special with that offense. It's not just Big 12, high number of, points that we usually see. I think this kid's he's the real deal here.
Yeah, well, that's our video for our Heisman candidate finalists or hopefuls for right now. As the college football season continues, we'll keep making more videos about college football. We'll update our Heisman candidate list. One bad game and a guy can drop out, Lamar Jackson. But,
right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have lots more videos coming soon. And, please leave a like, subscribe, and we appreciate it so much.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.